Thank you for joining us on the Moderate Conservative. I'm your host, the Matty Man. I am the Moderate Conservative. Just make sure you call me for lunch or dinner. I gotta tell you, I've been in the political arena for the better part of 20 years. Ever since I left Florida and came home. The problem with being in the political arena is you have to deal with politics, which I'm fine with. Others, not so much. And lately, we've been dealing with the effects or fallout of the Supreme Court decision to leave the Texas abortion bill alone. And why do you think they chose to do that? Liberals will tell you because they're all Republicans and we need to stack the courts and get everything back right, try this again. Women's lib Gloria Steinem disciples will tell you it is men crafting laws to govern the bodies of women. Wow. That one is the one that's hit me the hardest this week, and to be honest with you, that's the one I've had to deal with the most. So I'm just going to start off my commentary by saying I have no desire to control the body of a woman. I don't really care. Her body, and it's always been, in my estimation, her choice. Now, under my roof, my rules. Outside in the world, everybody else's rules. That's just the way I've always done it. It's the way I've always lived my life, and it's the way I'm going to live my life from now on. And it's the way I lived my life before I even started this or anything else. But it's how I'm going to live my life. In my house, my rules. Outside my house, everybody else's rules. And one state out of 50 is testing the waters and cutting the time down from 28 weeks to 6 weeks and making elective abortions practically illegal. Making elective abortions practically illegal. This is the reason, in my estimation, the Supreme Court refused to strike it down. There is no such thing as an elective surgery. Not even plastic surgery. There will always be a doctor somewhere that will justify that knife at that moment. And Texas knows that. The difference is, now, if you want to get an abortion in Texas, you pretty much have to get a doctor to sign off on it. That at least gives everybody an opportunity to make sure that, one, you're not being coerced. And trust me, there are a lot of baby daddies out there that would prefer not to be baby daddies. $400 is a lot cheaper than $400,000, which is the average amount of child support most men are in for these days. $1,200 a month, 18 years. You do the math. More importantly, it is informing the female of her actual choices in life. Once we've exhausted all that, then, and only then, do we discuss medical necessity. Now, mental health in Texas is a medical necessity. Let me say that again for the folks in the back. Mental health is a medical necessity. So Texas didn't ban abortions. They put a few middlemen in there, and that's between you and your God. That's between you and your higher power. But all Texas did was put a couple of middlemen in there, and everybody's losing their mind, like we're going back to The Handmaid's Tale. Or we're going back to the 1600s. We're going back to coat hangers. We're going back to all of this stuff. There's 49 other states. If you want an abortion bad enough and one just happened to happen when you were in, say, North Carolina, you can't possibly be prosecuted for something that did not happen in the state. You're off the hook. If you're in the state and your mental health begins to decline, that is a medically necessary reason, be it happening at 6 weeks or 28 weeks. It's time to stop the rhetoric here. Nobody's banning anything. That brings me to my next segment here, which is kind of important: deflection. Liberals, the deflection is getting way over the top. 99% of the things you blame or accuse Republicans of doing, you do yourself. And Republicans aren't actually doing it. Conservatives aren't actually doing it. I'm not out here trying to suppress a damn soul. You are. I'm not out here trying to take anyone's rights away. You are. Everything that you claim conservatives are trying to do is something you're doing yourself. It's getting old. The internet has gotten all of you way too comfortable with running your mouth and not getting an ass whooping for it. And the bottom line is, you're not doing anything positive. An elected official who will never read your post, there's some intern sitting in there having to deal with your dribble. Just say, hey, thanks for informing us. I disagree with you, but, hey, thanks for the information, and move on. They're not reading it. I could go on Nancy Pelosi's Facebook site right now and call her everything but a human being. She will never read that. And in fact, I'll probably be in Facebook jail because, it's different strokes for different folks. Liberals can call conservatives anything they want to and walk away with a chuckle. Conservatives say anything to a liberal, and it's Facebook jail. But the bottom line is, you got to stop doing this. You got to stop doing it because it's not really helping. You're not putting me in my place. You couldn't put me in my place if you knew where my place was. Same with me. I can't put you in your place even if I knew where your place was. However, you do give me a few logical ideas of where your place actually is, and I just move you over to that place, then I block you. You didn't get under my skin. You've annoyed me. Some people I allow to exist around me before I block them, just because, it gives me interesting insight. Like the dude that looks like his dad was Pee Wee Herman and I don't know, Boy George. Like if they somehow magically managed to multi-seed one egg, he looked just like that. And he's standing there telling me about how, oh, you got to do it this way because it's an international crime. Banning abortion is not an international crime. No one cares about abortion in that sense. Look at the UN. They put Iran and Iraq in charge of women's issues. For God's sakes, they could give two shits less about women's issues, and it shows. They put people in charge who still do genitalia mutilation so women can't enjoy sex. And you think they care about women's rights? Really? Really? They don't. Nobody does. You're just running your mouth. The downside of that is most of us have to put up with you. I say most of us because I don't. I just tell you off and keep moving. I don't have a politically correct bone in my body. At least not anymore. I used to. They went away. Exactly what do you hope to accomplish? What are you hoping to get over on here? I mean, are you trying to impress some woman? You're not. Are you trying to impress your friends? Who cares? Just stop. We can't peacefully discuss anything anymore Because, we've got insert soy boy here with his 15 ideas about why you're wrong and he's right, and you're done. That's what the internet's become. I'm going to use this last segment to reach out to all of my conservative friends and advise you that I have discussed with a few members of a pack that I'm very passionate about called Black Pack. And they're good people with good aims. And right now our party is not giving them a fair shake because some people had words. This needs to stop. We're getting ready to go into everybody says every election is the most important election, with almost $5 trillion in debt hanging over the top of us, with all of that on the line. Your great-grandchildren 100 times removed are about to pay a bill they didn't make. We do not need any division whatsoever. Black Pack, BLAKPAC, Cash App, $, Black Pack. They're good people doing good things, and they're trying to get minorities involved in our process, get them to understand the process. So many of them have been indoctrinated that the Republican Party is the rich old white man's party, and it's not. I'm not rich. I'm a conservative. I'm not necessarily a Republican at all times, but I'm not rich, not by any stretch of the imagination. But one thing's for sure. I believe in the core principles, and so do they. Let's get behind them. And say hi to my poor kitty in there who's trying to get some attention. Well, that's going to about do it for the Moderate Conservative. Once again, my name is Matthew. Like, share, subscribe. I love subscribers. Reach out. Send me comments. I love them. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and good night, America, wherever you are.